Hey, so today we are taking a look at my haul. It's on this rack. These are the things, most of the pieces that I found at Goodwill over the last maybe week and a half as I went to different locations in South Florida to try to find pieces that were inspiring to me, things that were kind of on trend or ahead of trend, things that stood out to me from various fashion weeks, and kind of just like what I'm in the mood for, or what I found that I felt like was the highest quality. And oftentimes that just means like an exceptional piece of vintage or something like that. So I love vintage, I love thrifting, I love finding valuable pieces, especially those kind of gems in a sea of maybe not gems. So please enjoy my haul video. I'll be trying these pieces on, and if you hurry, the pieces that I post today will actually be for sale in my Etsy store, and the link will be below. But I'm really excited to be sharing the things that I love to find at Goodwill and at different thrift stores, and kind of sharing my process. So I'll be doing that more and more, but for today, let's check out the first haul. So some of the things that I'm really excited about this fall are, unsurprisingly, blazers, jackets, outerwear. I love vintage blazers and coats, and I've been obsessed for years and redesigned a lot. But today I'm just going to show you the, I think, 5 or 6 blazers that I found in the last couple of weeks at Goodwill, like I mentioned. And so I'm just wearing a plain white tee, although it's super cute. It's theory. And it's a little cap, so that's nice. And then these are some vintage jeans that I had redesigned at Taylor House. They are originally a much larger size, and they resized them for me. So I will start with this look. Let's add a coat. Okay, so we are going to start with the outerwear. This is the coolest. I think it's Jordache. There was a tag, a Jordache tag. What? Okay, so it's super cool. Probably 80s if you can't guess. It is also got pockets, but doubly impressive, it's reversible. So this is super cool. I would have a fun time wearing this over like a floral dress. That'll come up later. Or just like over some vintage jeans. It's got a nice kind of finish to it. It's super comfortable, so it's kind of cool to add just like a layer, or you could wear it over a sweater. I'm gonna flip it inside out. So you can see it's kind of got that like old school railroad. I've been working on the railroad thing. And it has pockets on the inside too. So you really feel lucky. This is really fun. And I probably would wear this with like some brooches, or just something pinned to it, because it's so smooth. I feel like it's a great opportunity to add a little bit of texture, and I love the shape. So I have pretty square shoulders, so I like kind of accenting that, especially when it's balanced by, like, if you can see, a wide leg pant. So then I kind of become an hourglass. I change my proportions and create an X. So this is the coolest Jordache jean vest. Okay, the next piece is this really cute blazer. It zips up. So if you're feeling professional, you can zip it up. But it's got a nice shape, obviously, and smooth. It breaks a little bit higher than I do, so it's definitely obviously meant for someone that's a little more petite, and it's marked to petite, so that makes sense. But this is a really cool kind of texture to the fabric, and it really reminds me of a pair of, I think, like croc embossed sandals that Mercedes Castillo is selling, and she's one of my favorite designers, and she's from Spain. And so I feel like this color is an interesting color. It doesn't come around very often, and it is trending for fall. So I thought this was like a fantastic, really cool blazer. There's so many blazers so many blazers happening this fall. So I thought this was a definite. Okay, this is a super cool, really lightweight. There are parts of it that are sheer. Yeah, if you can see that. It's kind of like a lightweight jacket, and it has the craziest, let me just back it up for you. Really crazy kind of 80s, early 90s vibe, but it looks to me a little bit like Aladdin's Genie meets black opal, like an Australian black opal, which is my favorite. So this is what I'm calling my black opal jacket. And it's really lightweight, cute. I have thought of styling this over a snakeskin dress because it has a lot of this like texture and dimension that's really fine. And so those two things look really nice together. But for the sake of this haul video, I found this. So this is a really cool like tapestry. It's thick but not too heavy, and it's lined. It's basically like the inverse of the fabric. The inside of the fabric is like a fun kind of neon combos, and I thought that was kind of fun and cheeky because there's a lot of like neons being shown with really warm tones, like 70s colors. So this felt like it was checking some boxes for me. But it's got a cool shape. And I think I'll probably put like a hook and eye right here. But if you can see, you know, you can bounce in it. But yeah, florals are huge for fall, I don't need to tell you. And these colors specifically, like the deep kind of burgundy or cranberry, and then like these different blues. I'm seeing a lot of blues and these deep reds together. And it's kind of generally like a 70s situation that's happening. But this was really cool, and I think especially good for like, I don't know, for Miami it's nice because you don't have to you know, wear a lot of layers. It's like hot here. So so if you wanted to have like a sweater underneath, you'd have room for it. Or really it just it gives you an opportunity if you're a different size than I, which is great. So it would fit a little differently, but yeah, I mean, I think it's super interesting, super cool, and was a cool find. Okay, so I know I said that everything would be for sale, but not this. Sorry, it's double-breasted, an amazing kind of rust cranberry color. This is the coolest blazer, and I was super excited to find it. And I have brown eyes, so I like wearing kind of deep reds that pull the red out of my eyes, the copper, and enhance the warmth of my eyes. So I love this blazer. I'm super excited to wear it, and this was one of my best finds. Because I'm not selling it, I'll tell you how much I got it for. It was $5, and then it was like the tag of the week, so it was only $2.50. So this incredible linen, double-breasted hotness was $2.50. So I saw a picture from Fashion Week, probably London Fashion Week, because it was Alexander McQueen, and it was a black blazer, and it had been embellished with like a bunch of buttons and some safety pins, and it looked very regal, rock and roll, creative, and I thought that was so cool. So when I was at the Goodwill, I kept my eyes open for black blazers, because that's the kind of thing that I could try to DIY to have a similar effect. And so I found this, and I was really excited. It is a probably late 70s black velvet blazer. It's got 2 buttons. It's very cool. And I can just do comme ça. So it's not really like one of those oversized blazers, but it would still look really beautiful over a dress in the fall or the winter. And I love blazers. I like looking professional, but in a creative way. So this really got me excited about the season. So this is absolutely amazing. This is one of those kind of oversized look, boyfriend style black blazers. I think it's like, Sag Harbor? Yeah, legit. So this is 100% wool, and I liked the shape a lot. It felt elegant, and the best part to me, because I have big shoulders, is the shoulder pads were pretty small in here, so it wasn't like some of the other ones I have that are a little bit more stacked and then I need to have the shoulder pads removed. So this is a really elegant, like boyfriend style, husband style, as it were, black blazer. It's just really kind of nice and elegant, and picture jewelry or over a dress. You could do lots of things. But this feels like a very tasteful, black blazer from the 90s probably. So, very cool. Okay, so this was something I found right as I was walking out of one of the Goodwills, and I took a stroll through like the dress area, the elegant dress area, and this popped out at me, and I've really never been so happy to have taken another lap in my life. This is like 100% so cool wool from the 60s or maybe 70s. 70s probably. It is red, has polka dots. Polka dots are very hot this season. It is so cool. So this was actually probably full length or a little bit longer, and someone cut the bottom. But I will not be dismayed because I'm gonna go to Taylor House and have them finish the bottom for me. Let's see. This is a belt that came with it, which was an incredible find. To find pieces with their whole thing attached is really rare. But what I love additionally about this is it can be worn as a dress, or it can be worn as a coat, like open as a coat dress. So it's got a lot of buttons. Be patient. But yeah, I mean, call me Mrs. Claus, you know? Like, so cool. So this is one of my favorite kinds of vintage, not just the kind that I find at the last minute for very little money, but wool. Like, I love wool sweater dresses. I've always loved them. I've had a couple really cool ones. So this is amazing. And then I just was cutting out like the little Goodwill tag, and I had only seen this part of the tag. And as I removed the second part, I saw this part of the tag. And if you know what this means, this is Loewe. So I knew it was from Spain, but I didn't know it was Loewe. So that's a very big deal. And if you don't know who they are, you can just Google them. Incredible Spanish leather goods, and I think they probably obviously had extensive clothing line. So this was like the steal of my life. I love it, and I'm only gonna let it go for a hefty sum. Prepare yourself. So that's it for the jackets and outerwear. And now we are going to transition into skirts and dresses, and then we'll move on to blouses. So this is a fun one. I have a friend who's actually going to the Versace mansion tonight for a dinner party, and I found this print, this skirt. It's kind of like what I would call a play skirt. I'm lifting it up so you can see, but it is cotton, very, very lightweight, so actually really perfect for Miami. And it's leopard and like the Baroque style gold looking thing. If you can see, spin. This would look super cute with just flat black strappy sandals like I would wear it, or maybe my Nikes that are like this kind of marigold color, or high tops, or you know, it could be styled to go out. You could have a different shirt on. Live and let live. But this was super fun, and I found it very appropriate considering I have this friend going to the Versace mansion. And because of J-Lo, Versace is really in the news, so that's fun. Okay, so this skirt I found and thought was just a really cool, interesting texture, like it feels interesting. It's kind of like suiting, like a wool blend suit. But it is Liz Claiborne, probably late 80s, 90s, probably 90s. Has a really cool, let me show you, like X's and O's print, but it's a nice midi length, and I thought would look Oh, sorry, I lifted it down a little. I thought would look really nice with, you know, like you're seeing a lot of knee length maybe, or a little bit higher, ruched boots. So any kind of color or like a snakeskin print to me would be the most exciting. Something taupe or yeah, color. But I just thought the length was great. I thought the print was really unique and interesting. And there's so many great like houndstooth blazers and sweaters that would look fantastic over this. So I thought this was just like a super fun, great find for fall and winter. Okay, if I look taller, it's because I'm wearing shoes. This is a really cool, shoes. This is a really cool, probably like 90s dress. It's like lace back, all the way down, floral. I'm gonna try to show you what it looks like. Styled with some lacy back kind of sandals. This would be great, like if you have like a fall wedding. That's the best I can do. Thought it was really interesting. Or maybe this color, maybe not. But you know, the idea of having like a blazer over a floral dress feels really nice. So this could be a cool kind of situation to wear a blazer over a dress. I've had friends do that for fall weddings and spring weddings. But you can see it's like, it's kind of a showpiece. Yeah, and I am not this kind of girl necessarily. I'm a little more animal print than I am micro floral. But this was just too cool to pass up. And you could, because the dudes, the doohickeys, are so long, you could easily tie it in the front. You could wrap it around the waist and tie it in the back. So it offers some options. But again, I thought this kind of shoe was really fun for that. And so this is my take. Enjoy. So this is a really cool blouse. We are stepping into blouses. If you've been paying attention, you know I like animal prints, and snakeskin is another one that's really big for fall. So this is amazing. Fantastic cut. This is probably like late 90s and early 2000s. It's like NY and Company. So it's like relatively modern, but not from Zara. So that's good. And you know, bought it at Goodwill. So this is fantastic. I would definitely style this in a couple different ways. You could do long sleeves, you could ruche the sleeves, you could tie it in a knot, you could throw it over your shoulder. Well, maybe do like this. I love blouses. I love printed blouses. This one makes me really happy. We will see if anyone will buy this, or if I will take it back. Oh, before I take it off, I wanted to mention, I have seen a lot of like high boots, the ruchy kind, and this feels like it would go really beautifully with like an ivory pair, with maybe like some culottes, some denim culottes or wide leg jeans, but like the ones that stop here. We could just really commit to the 70s is what I'm saying. It could be a really good thing. You could have a moment. Thought I'd mention that. You're welcome. So I wanted to document this before I take them out. This blouse has shoulder pads. Like big ones, really big ones. And one thing that I like to do when I am thrifting or vintage shopping is identify where the shoulder pads are. You can kind of start to see if you're like looking at a rack, what will jump up because it has shoulder pads. And that's a great way to know that it is vintage, or at least older than what's being sold now, because there isn't a lot of shoulder pads. There aren't a lot of shoulder pads being put in blouses. So that's kind of a quick identifier. But this has crazy ones. So I'm gonna take them out and we're gonna go again. I'll show you how I'm gonna style this. shoulder pads are out and it feels so much more wearable. I have fussed around with this, and first I buttoned these, kind of like I flipped the cuff and I buttoned it backwards, almost like a French cuff. So I used the same button, but that made it a little more taut so I could pull the sleeves up. I tend to ruche my sleeves, and as a little trick I'll include, when you ruche your sleeves or you pull your sleeves back, or you wear 3/4 length things, it gives the illusion that your legs are longer, and that's kind of fun. It's really instinctual for some people to do it, and that's probably why, is that like over time you realized it kind of elevates you somehow. So I don't know, it's some trick I learned a while ago. But I was messing around with this when I was buying it in the dressing room and figured out that if, because of how the shirt is constructed, it has like a really deep side seam, that I could pull it taut in the back and create, I don't know, like bunny ears, rabbit ears in the front. I could obviously tie this in a few different ways. I could make it smaller. I could do things. You could do things. You can do things. But I liked this a lot more. And it doesn't really matter that it's oversized. To me, I love the mother of pearl buttons, and I love the print. And this is, I think, the piece that I started noticing a pattern in what I was finding, which was brown blouses. And that's kind of funny. I possess a lot of brown inherently, so it is something I feel very comfortable in, and I love the scale of the print, and I liked the option to style it differently. So this is definitely something I really like, and I could totally picture wearing some, again, like either crazy warm-toned snakeskin boots, or some ivory boots, some ivory kind of ruchy boots. But I thought that would look really cool, probably with a wide leg jean like this. And again, just to kind of tie it in a way that that accented my lady shape, my little shape. I like throwing a little back into it, you know what I mean? So this is that. So this blouse is really fantastic. It is the first of what I'm calling now my brown blouse series. I'm not really doing that. But this is super legit. I'll show you the tag when I take it off, but this is like totally from the 70s. And it has these great, like, giant ruffled collars, collar flaps, I guess, and little ruffles. And the sleeve is adhered and ruffled, so that's really cool. And yeah, I mean, maybe I would tuck the whole thing in. But yeah, high-waisted jeans and ivory leather boots, pleather boots, whatever you like, or even snakeskin. I feel like these colors are really a big deal for fall, and florals, small florals are a big deal. So this was a really fun find, and again, one of those like gems to me are finding really like true vintage pieces in a sea of things that are otherwise just kind of like used contemporary clothing. So so this was one of the first pieces that got me like really excited about doing this. Brown blouse. So this is super fun, very 90s, kind of 70s, 90s actually. I don't know if it was like the 90s for the 70s or if it's the teens for the 90s for the 70s, or where we are. This might be the 70s actually. Yeah, this is actually probably like the 70s. Floral, like daisies, brown, great collar, dorky collar, right? And then it zips up. So this is a very cool, very easy, little big on me. Would be a really cute blouse for someone else. Very pretty. Again, ivory boots. Come on people. Culottes and ivory boots all day. Okay, I'm gonna put my hair up for this experience. This is one of those things that you find and you like the print or the pattern or like the material, but you're not quite sure how to manage the shape. And so normally I would just say get it altered or see if that's an opportunity. But this was really fun. It's sheer, so it's kind of sexy, but then it's also really ugly. So that's not sexy, so there's a nice balance. I'm joking, kind of. But this is a very funny, it's like definitely a leopard animal print, and then the colors of this really remind me of like the plaids you see around Christmas time, like those Madras plaids, what are they called? You know what I'm talking about. Anyways, so I didn't really know how I would wear this. You could just kind of wear it in an oversized way, or it could just fit you. But I don't really wear oversized blouses. I tend to try to mush it up. But I did think of something else, so please hold. Okay, so I have grabbed an accessory. I think it's like the only accessory that I've found so far at Goodwill. Wide, very cool, brown. It says genuine leather, so we'll believe them. And wide belts, big belt buckles, brown, obviously, are really big for fall. And so I was really happy to find this. And I figured out that if I wrapped this shirt kind of like an obi belt style, let's do like this, that I could start like maybe just button the top button, the top two buttons, and then fold this over. Bear with me, it will be worth it in my mind. So you can do it better maybe. Oh, maybe it's just the top button. I figured this out, I promise. Yeah, like this. So that's cool, right? I mean, it's at least an idea. This is the kind of thing I like doing when I'm with clients and I'm working in their wardrobes, because there are strange combinations that could come together in a really fun, creative way that you would never think of, and you probably wouldn't like play around on a given Saturday afternoon, trying to come up with new ways to wear your old things. But this felt like it was a very creative way to wear this, and so I'm sharing it with you. But yeah, again, so it's like, it's sheer, it's kind of interesting. I think it'd be a funny, cool thing to pair it with something beyond this outfit. To do something either with the leopard, or with stripes, or with like those plaids that I was talking about, those Madras, those wool plaids, and kind of play up one of the components of the top, if you're not just gonna wear it with pantalons. But check me out. I feel like that was a good thing. I feel like this felt good. This felt like a thing, a win. So this is another fantastic top that has been that has enjoyed a finer life. You can see these shoulder pads leave a little something to be desired. So I'm going to cut them out. Join me. Okay, so this top was the one I just cut the shoulder pads out of. Very nice. And it has a seam line on the shoulder. So I have rather square shoulders. If you have softer shoulders, this will actually look better on you. And it also has lots of room for a bust. Fabulous. Again, for someone else. And it has these cool flaps. I mean, this is really, to me, like the kind of thing, it's meant to be high-waisted. This feels very relevant. This is the kind of thing I feel like you would see at Anthropologie, worn with like black high-waisted jeans and some cool boots, and just feels very easy to wear. It's leopard. Did I mention it is leopard? Lover of my soul. So this was super cool, easy, kind of easy to wear, and it buttons here, it buttons on the inside once. So you just kind of wrap it, and you could wear it with like a sexy bra, or you could just have bigger boobs, and that could be a thing. That could be better. Okay. So last but not least, right, because this is the most epic find of my life, this was in the junior section of Goodwill, and this is a leopard metallic brocade wiggle dress. I think it's from the 60s based on the tag, so that's like mind-blowing to me. It has boning in the chest, and if it wasn't a few inches too tight, I would never sell this ever, 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 ever. But it is the most incredible find. Thank you, Goodwill, South Florida. And yeah, I mean, this experience has been really fun. I'm gonna be making more of these haul videos. I'm gonna be posting 99% of what I find to my Etsy store. So if there's anything that you see that you are interested in, you wanna see styled in a different way, or you have any questions about, or you wanna hear more about my process or whatever, go ahead and shoot me some questions. Please leave comments. And it would be the biggest thing to me if you would subscribe and hit the alarm button so you're notified when I make new videos. But this has been really fun. Thanks so much. Have a great weekend. Bye. I've got good news and bad news. Good news is for me. I just zipped up this dress. Bad news is for you. I just zipped up this dress.